Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Here this morning with Darren Smith from Vail Mountain Rescue. You have been so busy in the past week. And first of all, just Vail Mountain Rescue, just for those of you that are just joining us, maybe you're not aware, these are the volunteer members of our community that if you get into trouble in the backcountry or on the river or wherever you might be, these are the guys and the ladies that are going to come and help to rescue you. And so how many missions have you had in the past week?
7 the past week.
That's a lot.
We started with a fatality up on the Colorado and moved into stuck vehicle up on Hardscrabble and a lady hiker down on Hanging Lake, which is out of our county, but we helped Garfield, who twisted her ankle, and then 5 in the water.
Wow.
Water was pretty busy.
Right. Now, a lot of people were in town for the GoPro Mountain Games, so you saw a lot of action taking place on Gore Creek, right in the heart of town, and then the Steep Creek Championship. But for people that are not really familiar with getting out on our rivers, especially right now, why do they need to be extra careful? Go
with a guide, because, for example, one of our missions was the one we've got some slides on here, was pulling an abandoned boat out of a strainer. And a strainer is something that water goes through and you don't. This big honking tree, boat was upside down. We only had 2 guys in the water. We had 7 people at various places on the bank as safety for them, should anything bad happen. Safety, safety, safety. If you go with a guide, one of the reputable guide services, they're going to catch you out right. You're going to be in a dry suit. You're going to have a PFD. You're going to have a helmet. You're going to have throw bags. You have people that know the river. While we're pulling this boat out, one of the guide service, we were getting ready to pull out. We weren't in the water. One of the guide service rafts went by, and it happens to be one of our guys on it, so they came back and helped work the mission. There's a lot of gear you have to have. Even if you've got your own boat and got the gear, and this is your 2nd year on the river, there are places you shouldn't go. You should stay out of Dowd chutes. There are places you should probably stay out of the eye of the needle in the upper sea. There are places you shouldn't go till you have the experience to know what to do there. And then go with another boater who knows what he's doing. Don't do any of this stuff by yourself.
And here's some of the pictures you're talking about.
Yeah, that's just us unloading, trying to get into the water. And we did eventually use that blue raft there.
And again, this is 7 people.
Well, we had total 14 on the mission, plus 4 from fire that stayed for about 45 minutes because then they had to go back and do fire stuff, plus 2 deputies, plus a couple of civilians.
So what are we looking at here?
Right here, the raft is on the far side of the river.
Okay.
There's that big tree that's sticking out, and that's what that raft is stuck up against. And we have, I think you can see 2 or 3 people that are standing over there on the bank trying to make sure we don't have somebody laying there, and also trying to keep that side of the river safe.
Gotcha.
And the next one, I think you'll see a couple of guys in dry suits that are getting in there. And a dry suit for this kind of work, if you're in the water more than 3 or 4 minutes, you're so cold that you can't close your hand.
Wow.
So we've got people that, the old TV shows of the wetsuit, where you're actually wet underneath and your body's heating the water. These are dry suits. You don't get wet underneath. You have gloves on, you have booties on. It fits very tight around your neck, so the only thing getting cold is your face. That keeps you alive in that water and keeps you functional. And only one guy was actually in the water. The other guy was suited up kind of half in the water, ready to go after him. The other 7 people were on the bank with throw bags like this, ready to catch any of those 2 that floated free. So when you do this, you stand on the bank and plan it for probably 40 minutes.
So
who's going where? How do we get across? How are we going to get back out? We did it. We had a raft go over and pick us back out down to the top of Dead Cow Chute and extracted from there. This is one where we're not quite sure how the boat got in the water. The sheriff's department, the sheriff's office is very interested in how the boat got in the water. But you have to get it out, and it's not just frivolous. You're not just going after somebody's property and risking lives. If you leave that boat there, it becomes an attractive nuisance. You're going to have somebody else try and get that boat out. They're not as good as we are. They're going to get in trouble, and then we have to go work them.
Right.
Or the boat's going to break loose, and we're going to get phone calls from now to next Christmas as it floats down to the Colorado. So.
Oh my
try
gosh,
to get
Dan.
boats out.
Well, we're grateful that you guys are prepared, that you are there to help us out in these situations. And again, I think what we've learned is don't go by yourself, and make sure that you are prepared and that you go with the right guide service. But thank you so much, Dan. It's always a pleasure to check in with you each week.
It remains fun.
Yes. Well, good. Good. We're glad you're out there. All right. Coming up next, Megan has a look at what's happening with your local weather forecast.